I think one of the primary reasons insurance carriers have been so reliant on paper for so long is just due to the industry being so deeply rooted in everything from, regulatory requirements, compliance, and its use of legacy systems and all the complexity that goes along with manual workflows that exist within all of that. Processes like, claims handling, underwriting, policy issuance, all of these involve multiple parties, multiple signatures, and compliance checks, which historically have leaned a lot on physical documentation for both legal and audit purposes. I think additionally, a significant portion of the customer base, if you think about just a large aging population, especially existing in commercial and life insurance, they still prefer or expect paper-based communication. So again, this reliance on paper has created several challenges for carriers, including probably the biggest one is operational inefficiency. You've got manual processes that are slow, they're prone to error, and just they require a significant human intervention. Another problem is high costs. I mean, storing and mailing and processing paper gets really expensive. Another issue too is that data is often siloed across the enterprise. And so paper documents, they aren't easily searchable, often are interpreted as unstructured data. And so they don't integrate with digital systems very well. And then lastly, I think it's just poor customer experience. Clients are increasingly expecting fast digital interactions, and paper workflows just really struggle with that. Insurers don't need to feel that they have to reinvent everything at once when it comes to building a paper-free workflow or sort of an environment. I think number one, you start with high impact areas, identifying the bottlenecks where paper slows operations. An example would be like claims intake or policy or third-party notifications delivery. You target those first, and then you kind of evolve. I think another idea would be implementing, different intake processes and implementing e-signatures as one example, replacing paper forms with online applications, or adopting things like secure electronic signatures like a DocuSign really help. Another solution is starting with digitizing paper that comes in. So what we call optical character recognition, or OCR, taking paper that is often considered unstructured and then creating a structured format and then being able to leverage that later. And then finally, I think it's just training staff and customers. It's sort of the old dog, new tricks. Sometimes people have a harder time internally changing from how things have always been. And so offering education and even incentives to move away from paper processes and old workflows. To future-proof operations, I think insurers should view automation not as necessarily a one-time fix, but as an adaptable and evolving ecosystem that grows with their business. So, for example, I think you start out with promoting what I call cross-functional collaboration. You really have to encourage IT and operations, business leaders to be able to work together and then prioritize automation that aligns with everyone's needs. And again, not feeling like you have to boil the whole ocean at once. So another step would be adopting a more modular approach, building flexible plug and play automation components, things, for underwriting, and maybe starting with claims triage or fraud detection that can evolve without having to completely disrupt your core systems. I think everybody is on the train of having to feel obligated to completely rip and replace their core systems. And that necessarily isn't always where you have to start. The big hot topic, of course, is leveraging AI and machine learning, and I think there's certainly a place for that. So automating decision-making in areas like risk scoring and customer service, or even document classification, all can help with providing feedback loops that automate what would have been a paper-based process. And then I think last but not least, certainly, is leveraging APIs and web services within a cloud environment. I think this architecture ensures future tools that can integrate seamlessly and provide a land and expand strategy.